One of the most difficult pieces of advice for us as sensitive people to assimilate that logical people tend to get a little bit more quickly in life is to never give up. And why is that? Welcome back, and today I'm talking about why never giving up is such an important quality for sensitive people to develop and why it's so much tougher for us to develop that quality of resilience compared to people who are a little bit more left-brained and logical. So when you're left-brained and logical, you're not so sensitive and available to the environment around you when you're going to achieve your goals and ambitions. And there is a plus and a negative to that. So when you're less sensitive and you're less empathetic, you can't really connect with people so well. You can't understand their thoughts and their feelings. What you can do is focus on a goal and ignore everybody else who's saying bad things to you. And so that can actually be a quality of the successful. And that's why you do see some left brain people who make it to CEO or they have really good investments. It's because they're quite bullheaded and they don't take no for an answer. And they keep going and they're resilient. And as sensitive people, we can develop this quality too, but it's a little bit tougher for us because we have such high levels of empathy. And empathy is a wonderful thing. I'm not trying to say don't be empathetic or knock that quality. It's actually the most important quality a human being can have. Empathy makes relationships work. It makes you want to give and be of service to other people and not for any kind of manipulative outcome to earn money or to get validation and attention. It's because you genuinely want to give. It's the quality that the planet needs the most, actually. The planet needs us sensitive people to step up and take leadership roles. But this is why we struggle to even get into those leadership roles in the first place. It's because we're so sensitive. We're like a turtle without any shell. So imagine a sensitive person trying to get into politics and imagine how much criticism and feedback they have to take from other people in order to succeed. A lot of people call politicians criminals, liars, thieves, all these terrible names, and then they wonder why sensitive people don't go into politics or try to take leadership roles. It's because we're so heavily inundated with criticism that it's so tough for us to even get started. But if we're able to integrate feedback and take the best from it without it really hurting us, and yet still retain that empathy and still understand the plight of other people and really fight for them and help them get what they need in life, that's when we are at our best as sensitive people and we are resilient. Doesn't mean you have to take on negativity that is unnecessary. Maybe we're not all meant to be politicians in our destiny. That might be a little bit much to ask for sensitive people. But maybe what's more resonant for us as a goal, we do need to put our book out there, or we need to put ourselves on the internet, or we need to meet a new person in a networking group. And that can be really hard for us to open up as sensitive people to new people who could potentially be logical or threatening, or say what we have to offer isn't good enough. Believe it or not, logical people go through this too all the time in their careers. It's just that their logic protects them because they're a little bit bullheaded and they're a little bit dense and they don't always take feedback from others. And that can actually work in your favor, strangely enough, in the society we live in, because it makes you immune to all the negativity that's out there. And what we want to do as sensitive people that's going to make us even more successful is hear people and listen and take that feedback and then implement it. If we're able to do that, that's what makes you that brilliant writer. That's what makes you that brilliant leader, because you just integrate so much richness into your books or into your leadership style because you've listened to everybody and they're really behind you and on board. That's what makes people successful and even historic and what makes them remembered. Think about J.K. Rowling and her Harry Potter series. She went through a lot of rejection, and every time she faced rejection, she actually made her books better. That's a pretty good example of a sensitive person who is taking feedback and not taking rejection as a final no, but she's actually taking everything she's learned and putting it right back into her creations. And that's what we need to do as sensitive people. If we're able to do that and we're not so scared to talk publicly, we're not so scared that people are going to say we're liars or we're charlatans or what we have to say isn't true. If we become immune to that, but then listen when we do have constructive feedback, if there is something that needs to be fixed in our book, if there is something that we can improve on when we're creating social media content, then yes, of course, we'll take that feedback. But if it's just pure negativity, we have to learn to completely ignore that and just not care. That is when we have to shut off our emotions and understand that it is not about us and that we shouldn't take those kinds of opinions personally at all, ever. We can't let that get in the way of whatever we're working on. We can't let that make us feel badly about ourselves or activate some kind of insecurity. And if we do have insecurities about something, maybe our English language skills are not that good, then work on them. Read more English, learn more words, get a word a day calendar. Do something to make yourself feel more confident in your ability to speak articulately, and then it's not going to be a problem for you anymore. All we can really do about our insecurities is try our best to improve ourselves. If we're a little bit overweight, then we exercise more. If we need to take more time polishing our looks and looking professional, then yeah, take a bit of time to polish your looks and look professional. These things are within our control, but we can't be always worrying about the negativity of others. We can't constantly be insecure and wonder, do I look good enough? Is my English good enough? Is my product good enough? At some point, we have to let go after we've done the best that we can and we've implemented all the feedback and all of the creativity that we can, and just go for our goals, dreams, and ambitions. But we tend to stop because we want to feel comfortable in the surroundings that we're in. We want to be validated by the people who are closest to us, and we don't want to put ourselves at risk of being rejected by strangers when we implement a new project and we push our boundaries. And we actually have to get over that fear. We have to be willing to go in front of other people and have them laugh at our ideas. And if we're able to push through that fear and really create a beautiful product, a beautiful project, or we can ballet dance, even if we're 190 pounds, whatever that goal is, you really achieve those goals when you stop worrying about even what experts think about your performance. At some level, you have to let go of their advice too, because they may not have your best interests at heart. But you always have your best interests at heart when you're being kind to yourself and you're striving to achieve your goals and your creativity and you're following what is your true calling in life.